So I want to talk about this interesting Sudoku rule that I discovered a few days ago with my friend as we did this puzzle in particular. I'll link this in the description, and I'll also link the video by cracking the cryptic that I used to find this puzzle. Now, this isn't a scripted video, so it might be a bit more rambly, or there might be some moments where I just don't say much, but I discovered something really interesting by looking at the rule set of this puzzle. The interesting thing, it's just like a fog of war puzzle, there's some interesting rules. But the really interesting one is that you have to mark 9 cells such that there is one marked cell in each row, column, or 3x3, which is exactly what you do per each digit as well. And the way I thought to do this was, well, how many, shapes of 3x3 boxes can you make in a Sudoku? Like, if you need one per row, one per column, and one by box, these are like the hypothetical 3x3s you could have, right? And this is, like, this 3x3 could be down here, or it could be over here, or anywhere else, but this is like a shape that might exist in the puzzle. And so what I kind of realized is this is kind of true for all the digits as well. Like, you could, that's the wrong thing. You could do this with just numbers as well. I want to use the small ones. So, like, you could have the number of ones you have in a puzzle, for example. You could distribute in the same sort of way, where, like, this 3x3 is just somewhere, and this 3x3 is somewhere else. And what I realized is it has to be unique. Like, you can't have multiple of this shape in a Sudoku puzzle. It doesn't matter where it goes. It has to go somewhere, one of the boxes, but you can only have one of them. So you can imagine, like, taking these 3x3s here and then shuffling them around until they fit. Like, obviously they don't fit in this configuration because of all the rows and columns. In fact, this is like the least fit way you could distribute these. But if this rule applied, then solving Sudokus would be really easy, because if you ever had a 1 in the top left of a 3x3, you know that you couldn't have a 1 in the top left of anywhere else. And this rule is fantastic, and it lets you solve Sudokus really fast. The issue is it doesn't work. This is me from the future. I think I just want to showcase sort of what the rule would be if it worked. So let me just see. Let me just do this Sudoku. 4. Okay, 4 isn't too bad. We have these. But you see, so this is essentially what the rule would be. We can just start by doing normal sort of Sudoku tactics to see that there's only 2 places in this 3x3 for a 4. But if my rule held, then because this is the, like, 1, 2, 3, 4, like the 6th position for 3x3, then this could not also be the 6th position for 3x3. And therefore we could conclude that that must be a 4. And so things will kind of go well for a little bit. For example, it's a similar thing here. We know that this can't be a 4 because that's a 4. But then you see the rule. This is actually, wow, this was fantastic. It immediately broke down. You see, there is no spot for a 4 now. So, unfortunately, the rule just doesn't hold. But you could see how quickly you could solve a puzzle if it did. I tried last night with a few different puzzles, and you always run into issues because it's just not true. You can have something like this. Like, that is allowed in a Sudoku. So I don't really know what to do with this, because it's kind of interesting. If I clear this, if you have something like this, like, how many copies of a 1 in the top left can we have? Well, we obviously can't have any of these. So I think you can have these duplicates of these 3x3s, but at most you can have 3, and it would have to look like this. Or I suppose it would be the other way around, right? You could at most have 3. And if you think about the rest of the digits that need to be in the top left, you're kind of displacing 2 of them. So they would then have to displace something else. So I think my gut feeling is that when you have a duplicate like this, You always need an even number of duplicates, if that makes any sense at all. So for example, if this were like a 1 here and a 2 here, in like a perfect puzzle, where my rule does apply, and you have, I have no idea, just digits in other places. In order to like shove a 1 here, you would then have to move that 2 somewhere else, which would like eventually lead to a duplicate. That's my like idea. I'm not sure. I'm interested to look into this because the original rule would help solve puzzles so fast. It would be so interesting in terms of like an algorithm, but it just doesn't work. But since you can't have more than 3 of a single digit in a single configuration repeated, there might be some sort of rule that applies to this. Otherwise, I guess we could just be dealing in, I don't know, we could create a word to talk about these types of puzzles where that rule applies, and then when you solve those, you could actually apply the rule, and then it would be much faster and more interesting. But I'm going to spend more time thinking about this, and I just want to bring it out there so that if any of you, if you can actually understand what I was kind of trying to say, I hope it kind of makes sense. Let me know, think about it, you know, try and apply it, try and find like subsets of the rule or a more general rule that actually works for all Sudokus. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, this has been a bit of a unique video. If you're interested in more of these, then let me know and I'll make more of them. But otherwise, I'll see you guys.